said it couldn't be done. These guys are proving them right. The Misfits on AM 860, The Answer, the new KPAM.
No, you cannot have my Bavarian twists. Thank you very much.
You're not using them.
When I wake up from the tasing, I am sure I am
You're
going to be hungry.
in Orlando with.
Well, I'm going to be hungry. So no, those are mine.
Fine.
Well, welcome back to the Misfits. That is James. I am Travis. We've been talking about this all show, and he is now here in studio. It is my longtime friend, very good friend. You know him in Portland radio and a couple of other states around the country as well. You also know him from some of the other endeavors that he's involved with, which we will get into here in the next segment or so. My friend Dave Scott.
Travis, how are you, brother?
Welcome to the Misfits.
This is so awesome sitting here. How long has it been since I've looked across from you in a live studio?
Oh man.
Okay, let's date it. I think 98, the day we got fired.
It would have been 98. I'm trying to think. No, there was never another opportunity where I came and sat in, because when you were at Kink, I was still up in Seattle.
Yep.
So no, it would have been 1998, the day that we got blown out from Earth 105.
Such a pleasure. We've been through so much together, and
Yeah.
thank you guys for inviting me. By the way, big fans, first time caller, big fans. I love you
Awesome.
guys. Love your guys' stuff, man.
Well,
Our one and only fan.
we learned it from watching you. There is more truth to that than we want to admit. So one of the reasons that we have Dave in studio today, beyond the fact that he is a fantastic radio broadcaster, and we're honored to have him in the studio because, man, the professionalism quotient just flew off the meter.
Yeah,
right
now we have a bar to reach.
I know. But Dave is now involved in podcasting. He launched a podcast. Wow, would it be 6 months now? 5 months?
Yeah, January 1st was the first episode.
Wow, so 7 months ago.
Yeah.
8 months, 7 months ago.
Wow,
I'm
right
bad at
around the
math.
time we started this show.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and the podcast is called Embrace the Change. Now, Dave, why don't you tell everybody sort of how it came to be and what you intend to continue to do with it.
Okay, right. Okay, so basically, we'll just kind of bring it down to when it began. Because I was at a radio station here in town about 3 years ago, and they decided they didn't want my services anymore. And when I came stumbling back home after that episode, at the age of 62, I looked at my wife, and she looked at me, and she said, "You are done, aren't you?" And I said, "I think I'm pretty much done chasing this dream. 43 years, it's been a pretty good run." So we both decided we were going to segue off into something different and not chase the big radio dream anymore. We'd kind of done that. And I settled into doing something else, worked for a great company. Can I give it a plug, by the way?
Yeah, please.
It's owned by somebody you may know, Bob Anchetta.
Yeah, Big BA.
The Big BA has a company called Internet Jock. They do voiceover work on the internet, and so I'm involved with that, and I get to work from home.
Nice.
And I also do some voice tracking for other radio stations, so all from home, and it was fantastic. And that went on for about 3 or 4 months before I began to get the funny feeling that, okay, gosh, I know I'm never going to go back to a live microphone again. At least I don't think so. Never say never. But there's this skill set that I have created and developed after 43 years that's just sitting unused, and I wanted to scratch that itch. I wanted to do something with that. And I was very aware that I wanted to do something that was maybe somehow going to help other people. That was the key word. I wanted to help other people. Didn't know how I was going to go about doing that. Didn't know what direction I was going in. But I knew that that's kind of the reason, it seems like the older you get, the more you become aware that that's kind of the reason we're here.
Right.
Is to help other people in whatever way it may be. So came up with this idea. It's called Embrace the Change because for me, that's kind of where I was in life. Semi-retired, we'll call it. And the more I began to put that platform out there and invite people in to come in and chat with me about whatever changes they were going through, the more I began to realize that there are commonalities in all our journeys. And I mean, your change is different from my change, and your change is different from James's change, but there are little subtle story elements that you kind of go, wow, I feel like that, or I think I might have responded in the same way. And that's what I'm coming to see, and that's how I maybe am coming to see that perhaps my little podcast out there would be of use to someone who is up at 3 a.m. in the middle of the night going, I don't know how I'm going to get out of this mess. I don't know how I'm going to answer these questions. You find the podcast, you listen to someone tell their story and go, oh, that could be an avenue.
And I will say that type of material, having access to that at 3 o'clock in the morning when the anxiety is all that you can feel, and you feel alone and like you're the only one going through this. To be able to sit and listen to something like your podcast and hear people tell their stories, and the fact that they've gone through them, because the people that you speak with, they had their change, and then it's them on the other side and talking about the lessons that they learned by embracing whatever their life threw at them at the time.
That is a great point. There are always lessons, and I came to realize that from the hardest times in my life and my career. There were points in my career, and they always seemed to be radio career oriented, the parts that hurt the worst. The jobs that I lost, the 14-month stretches of unemployment that somehow, some way, and I don't know how, because you look back at earning statements from those years and you go, how did I raise a family of 3 on what I was making then? But you pull it off, and then down the road, in hindsight, you look back and go, but you want to know what? If I hadn't have gone through that, if I hadn't been tempered by fire from living through those experiences, I wouldn't be here now doing what I'm doing and experiencing things that mean so much to me.
I don't know if it was Tony Robbins, it was one of those guys, but he said you either win or you learn instead of lose.
And sometimes winning can hold you back from learning.
Right. Absolutely. So one of the other reasons that we have Dave in here to talk about Embrace the Change in the podcast is I had the opportunity to sit down with him about a month ago and record an episode of it. If you have been with us all these many years, you know that we've done the 7 months. Again, still very bad at math.
Yeah, very bad.
7 months seems like 7 years.
Oh, it's like dog years.
Some days, yeah.
But I live with bipolar disorder. We did a show about it, our own Misfits show about it, a few months back. It was relatively early.
I learned a lot from that show.
Yeah,
and I don't know if I've thanked you for that, but it really opened my eyes to a lot. And I look forward to learning more.
Well, and that's
as we sort of champion this cause,
and that segues us, I think, to the episode that we did about a month ago, which you just released a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
I got to sit down and Dave and I got to talk about my breakdown, and I was undiagnosed for most of my adult life. I did not know that I was living with bipolar. I think that when you go through life undiagnosed with a mental illness, you think that this is just how everybody lives. This is just, and come to find out, no, this is not how everybody lives. And it came to a head in 2012, and I suffered a really severe breakdown and a suicide attempt and lost everything. And I've spent the last 7 years recovering, rebuilding, and embracing the change that has come with the diagnosis. And Dave, you were masterful at sort of guiding me through that story as we sat down, and you did it with such kindness and empathy. And that's if you're looking for a podcast that really has an open mind about everybody and everything. Dave's touch on this is so gentle that he really has the opportunity to pull greatness out of the people that he talks to, and hopefully it helps somebody else.
Well, I want to thank you for coming and being ready to be so open and so honest, because of that, I think you will resonate with a lot of people that might be experiencing something like that. So kudos to you as well, my friend.
Can you stick around?
Oh, heck yeah. Are you kidding?
Perfect. Okay. We are talking to Dave Scott. He is the host of the podcast Embrace the Change, also longtime radio personality here in Portland. You were listening to the Misfits. I'm Travis. That is James. You're listening to AM 860, The Answer, the new KPM.